I've got the top 10 must-adds for this week in fantasy basketball coming up next on Beat the Odds. Don't go anywhere. Hello, sports fans, and welcome back to another episode of Beat the Odds. I'm going to count down the top 10 pickups ahead of Week 17. If you like this content, please smash that like button, and a special thanks goes to all of our subscribers who have been watching these videos, as you now account for almost 25% of all viewers. To the other 75% of viewers that haven't yet subscribed, I encourage you to do so as it helps me create these videos for you. Also, leave a comment on a player that you think deserves to be on this list. This episode is brought to you by Thrive Fantasy Sports. Use the promo code BEATTHEODDS to double your first deposit up to $250. And if you bet on Paul George to score 1 point on Monday, and he does, then you win. Now let's dive into the list here. At number 10, we have Bilal Coulibaly, 9% owned, 30 minutes per game over the last 2 weeks, 10.3 points, 4 rebounds, 1.7 assists, 1.3 threes, 1 steals, 0.7 blocks, 1.6 turnovers, on 41% shooting from the field and 94% from the line. Coulibaly was one of the players that was positively affected by the events of the trade deadline this past Thursday. He marks one great target to stash post-All-Star break when the Wizards should dole out more minutes for the young forward. Coulibaly offers a tasty blend of threes and stocks and could be an interesting player to roster if he does settle into starters minutes on this team. At number 9, we have Brandon Podziemski, 47% owned. Last 2 weeks, he has 34 minutes played, 11.1 points, 7.7 rebounds, 6 assists, 0.3 threes, 1 steal, 0.4 blocks, 0.9 turnovers, on 45% shooting from the field and 71% from the line. Pods is back. After taking a hiatus from the list for several weeks, he makes his triumphant return based on his Draymond Green type numbers. Comparing the two over the last 2 weeks, Pods is up 3.5 points per game and behind 1 rebound and half of an assist. These are helpful stats for a shooting guard, and it speaks to the all-out hustle style that Podziemski envelops. And he's getting 34 minutes a night right now. To number 8 we go. We have Alex Caruso, 60% owned. Over the last 2 weeks, he has 31 minutes per game, 7.8 points, 5.2 rebounds, 4 assists, 1.2 threes, 1.5 steals, 2 blocks, 1.8 turnovers, on 39% shooting from the field and 77% from the line. Caruso is right on the cusp of coming off this list. I'd say we should give him the extra push. Zach LaVine is out for the season, so Caruso should be a lock for 30 minutes per game. He's currently averaging 2.5 stocks for the season, and there's only 15 NBA players averaging that, but Caruso and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander can slot in at point guard, and they're the only two that can do that. For the last 14 days, Caruso has upped his stocks to 3.5 a game. He's a game changer for stocks, so go get him. To number 7 we go. We have G.G. Jackson, 27% owned. Over the last 2 weeks, he's got 28 minutes per game, 14.6 points, 5.3 rebounds, 1.3 assists, 2.1 threes, 0.9 steals, 0.7 blocks, 1.3 turnovers, on 38% shooting from the field and 71% from the line. A young forward with a green light, GG will hurt your percentages, but will be a 20-point threat nightly and should continue that trend until Desmond Bane returns. The Grizzlies are patching their offense together amidst a rash of injuries, and GG figures to play a significant role in that plan. He offers solid complementary stats as well, so you don't have to worry about empty lines. Let's go to number 6. We have Nick Richards, 45% owned. Over the last 2 weeks, he's got 31 minutes per game, 10.8 points, 9.3 rebounds, 1 assist, 0.1 steals, 1.3 blocks, 2 turnovers, on 73% shooting from the field and 71% from the line. News broke earlier this week that Mark Williams is not expected back for at least the next 4 weeks. That means you can run with Naughty Nicky for the foreseeable future. It's rare to see a competent starting center under 50% owned, but that's where we currently stand with Richards. He's not going to be a huge threat on offense. However, he just did register a tidy 16.11 rebound game on Friday. Let's go to number 5. We have Precious Achiuwa, 42% owned. Over the last 2 weeks, he's got 39 minutes per game, 11.9 points, 9.3 rebounds, 1.1 assists, 0.4 threes, 1.1 steals, 1.4 blocks, 0.9 turnovers, on 49% shooting from the field and 75% from the line. Rando's out, OG is out, Hartenstein is banged up. Achiuwa is getting all the minutes that he can handle right now. He is an athletic big who can defend his position and crash the boards, and he's doing his share of crashing right now, registering 16 rebounds in 2 of the last 4 games, while playing over 40 minutes in 5 straight. His minutes will come down to earth once the front court is healthy, but ride the train for as long as you can. Let's go to number 4. We have Corey Kispert, 45% owned over the last 2 weeks. He's got 26 minutes per game, 17.1 points, 3.9 rebounds, 2.4 assists, 2.9 threes, 0.6 steals, 0.1 blocks, 1.1 turnovers, on 55% shooting from the field and 80% from the line. Kispert is on a roll, but he's not a lock for 30 minutes per game, which is why he's not higher on this list. Nevertheless, he's been a great shooter that has been able to chip in with a handful of rebounds and assists. He's certainly worth a look if your team struggles in the scoring department. Once the Wizards roster resets after the trade deadline, we'll see how impactful Kispert will be for the rest of the season. To number 3 we go. We have Ayo Dosunmu, 37% owned over the last 2 weeks. He's got 34 minutes per game, 13.7 points, 2.7 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 2 threes, 1 steal, 1.2 blocks, 2 turnovers, on 57% shooting from the field and 40% from the line. I have been pumping Caruso over the last few weeks while only presenting Ayo as a nice option to roster on your squad. My tone is going to change though, as Dosunmu has been balling out for the last few weeks. He's been getting some serious playtime and is responding nicely with solid contributions across all categories. Don't miss out on your opportunity to own this flashy guard. To number 2 we go. We have Scoot Henderson, 54% owned over the last 2 weeks. He's got 27 minutes per game, 17 points, 3.8 rebounds, 4.6 assists, 1.8 threes, 0.4 steals, 0.4 blocks, 2.2 turnovers, on 44% shooting from the field and 97% from the line. Brogdon stays, but Scoot's development will likely take precedence as the season winds down. His percentages over the last 2 weeks are palatable, which isn't something that we've been able to say all season. If this sticks, expect Scoot to approach 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists on a nightly basis. And if he accomplishes that, you're going to kick yourself for not picking him up sooner. He was the number 3 pick this season for a reason. And finally, at number 1, we have Marvin Bagley III, 55% owned over the last 2 weeks. He's got 19 minutes per game, 12.7 points, 6.3 rebounds, 1.7 assists, 0.3 steals, 3 turnovers, on 65% shooting from the field and 86% from the line. The biggest beneficiary of a job opening post-trade deadline, Bagley will have a clear runway as the starting center in Washington. This was likely not what the fans wanted to see, but for fantasy managers, this is great for all those who have already scooped him up. The production that he has been able to provide has been in less than 20 minutes per game. I can only imagine what lines he's going to be able to put up with a full workload. And that's going to do it here for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. I am going to sign off for now, but I will catch you guys on our next episode.